Hello everyone, welcome to the podcast. Let's talk. I remain your beautiful host, Miriam for short, Mimi, and today I'm here with a very high respected lieutenant and commander. Please, sir, can you say hi to
All right.
to my viewers?
Good morning, all. I'm happy to be here. I am Lieutenant Commander Solomon Sundung, retired, but not tired because I'm still active.
All right.
Still doing some stuff that has to do with security. What that means is I'm deeply involved in my maritime security activities with my company that is called Umbrella Limited.
Okay.
We provide maritime security to our clients that are visiting Nigerian waters. So, in short, that's who Solomon is.
All right.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the podcast. So, viewers, today we'll be talking about insecurity. We'll talk about insecurity in general, but for now, I would like to talk about insecurity in the aspects of the marine environment. So, like I earlier said and introduced, our lieutenant and commander, retired
Lieutenant Commander.
lieutenant commander. Thank you,
It's
sir.
in one word.
Okay. So, please, I would like to ask, sir, what are the primary responsibilities of a Nigerian Navy in protecting the marine environment?
Okay, fine. If you ask me, the primary role of the Nigerian Navy in combating crime in our waterways or in the marine sector for general, I will maybe jump and tell you it is to police our territorial, marine areas.
Okay.
But I think it is far from that. The primary role of the Nigerian Navy is to ensure she trains a very combat force that can handle that. It's to ensure that there is that effective deterrence of crimes in our water, ways. Is to ensure that that policing role is done in such a way that is regarded as a professional, work they are doing. So first, the role is to ensure that it train a group of combat, personnel that will handle the role.
Okay.
Yes.
When it comes to the marine environment, are you people in charge of the oil spillage in terms of protecting it from being stolen by all these invaders?
Okay. There are two things there: protecting theft of our,
Oil
oil crude,
Okay.
and then there is the aspect of spillage.
Okay.
In that aspect of spillage, it is not the responsibilities of the Nigerian Navy to oversee that. I think we have a national body that is called the Anti-Pollution, Agency that handles that one. But for the Nigerian Navy is responsible to ensuring that the oil theft in our, waterways is protected diligently, is to ensure that even the vessels that are coming into our waters to, pick crude, they are profiled properly before they have access to doing that. Because in the recent past, what they do is you see the vessels coming into, take crude, feeling they are vessels that are legitimate, whereas they are not. These are vessels that are coming to steal the crude from Nigeria.
That is the pirates.
Not the pirates. These are not pirates. These are oil thieves. Okay. These are oil mongols. All right.
So the oil mongols are different from the pirates.
Yes. Pirates are people that create inconveniences in the waterways at sea. They ensure that vessels that are doing business are distracted for ransom. They need money. That's for the piracy. But for oil stealing, is the big men that are doing all of that. So it is not. There are two different things there, two different scenarios when it comes to maritime activities. The oil thieves are people that steal our crude oil and take it away at no cost, no money going into the government coffers. The pirates are people that are looking for a ransom. The pirates are people that are, if it is a foreign vessel, they are looking for the dollars.
Okay.
They, just like we have it at the shore, at the land, at the hinterland, you kidnap for what? A ransom.
For ransom.
So that is exactly how they do their own. They kidnap and then they ask for ransom. They normally basically go for these foreign vessels that are visiting Nigeria, and that's a very bad name given to us. They will kidnap the foreigners and then demand
for ransom. Okay, thank you, sir. When it comes to insecurity in Nigeria, we were known to be the giants of Africa. So we have a lot of mineral resources and the land is blessed. But how do we tackle this insecurity? Because I know growing up as a child, in those days, you could send your child to school. You just put the child in a bus. The child is well dressed in her school uniform or his or her school uniform, and the child can join a bus traveling. I schooled in Calabar, and I was a boarder. So what my dad normally do then was he takes me to Calculus, pay for the vehicle, I join the bus, and I get straight to Calabar without any form of kidnapping. So at what stage, how do we tackle this insecurity in the country?
Yes, you see, the issue of insecurity has its own problems, how it generates. This insecurity is linked or is tied to so many activities. If you ask me, I will tell you, number one, the instability of the economy.
Okay.
If you ask me, I will tell you the rate of corruption, tells all why all of these things are coming to fore, or why all these things are coming to play. A government that is mindful of how it administers activities will really put this to check. When I said it has a lot, or it has a multiplier effect, it means we have come short of addressing the issue of food sufficiency. We have come short of addressing the issue of unemployment. We have come short of addressing the general welfare of citizens. Meanwhile, you are not addressing these issues, but the citizens are seeing you having, living an affluent life.
Okay.
It gets painful to the hearts of the citizens. Of course, they might not have no choice than to proffer a way to survive, if you ask me, on my opinion. But a very serious-minded government can tackle this. I have seen a slight, move in this present regime where they are handling this. Because if you are handling food sufficiency, you are seeing, you are recruiting, all these people, all these our citizens into the farms. But then first, what you need to do is to make sure the farms they are going is secured. tackling the insecurity, that's tackling all this issue of
That
Boko
means that's where
Haram.
the local policing comes in.
Yeah, you tackle the issue of the Boko Haram, people carrying arms illegally, you know.
The henchmen.
The police, that's the local policing, yes?
Yes.
That's where it comes in. All right? Then if people are free to do all of that, we are increasing our food sufficiency. And then in the area of, in the area of employment, yeah? If I am employed today, you are employed today, most of the citizens are engage the youths, engage them. If you are able to engage them, you are removing them off the streets, and of course we are tackling that insecurity situation
Aspect. Okay.
And then one key point I will have to say here is government has not shown seriousness in the area of sanctions if it comes to where you take the laws in your hand. There's no action in sanctioning, defaulters. That's where the problem is.
Okay, so can I say something? In a situation whereby, I think this is also part of the problem. You cannot expect someone from Sokoto to be a commissioner in Cross River State. One, he doesn't even know the crooks and corners of Cross River State. So you are assigning somebody from Sokoto State to be the commissioner in Cross River State. To me, I see it as a big blunder because, one, he doesn't know the crooks and corners of Cross River State. It will take him time. But if you appoint someone who is within that region to be the commissioner for that particular region, I think it makes more importance in the aspects of insecurity.
Okay, yeah.
Because he knows the croon and corners of the place.
Okay, that's correct. That is if you are employing a commissioner of police, like
Yes.
for instance.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's it helps. It contributes to that. If you need to have a person, overseeing the security affairs of a particular area, it must be someone who has the understanding of that terrain.
Okay, sir. So my second question says, how does the Nigerian Navy contribute to the prevention of marine pollution?
All right. Nigerian Navy in the area of pollution is not her primary role.
Okay.
So it doesn't do that. But then, in a way, since they are in charge of the security of our marine sector, if any offender, if you catch any offender, or you catch someone committing that aspect of polluting the waterways, yes, the Nigerian Navy has the right to arrest such a person and hand him over to the appropriate authority. Pollution is handled by a different agency.
Okay.
The Nigerian Navy's responsibility is to make the waterways free of crimes. Free of crimes such as robbery, such as piracy, such as incursion by a Nigerian citizen or a non-Nigerian vessel particularly. So that's the basic role of the Nigerian Navy in tackling the maritime, sector.
All right, sir. So in the aspects of insecurity, what advice will you give to the youth in terms of insecurity? I know currently the country is tough. We have unemployed youths all over the place. The farmers, they are also suffering because most of them can't go to the farm due to the herdsmen, the Boko Haram people, and all of that. So what advice will you give to the Nigerian youths in terms of insecurity?
Okay, first, I would say they should be law-abiding. Nigerian youths should be law-abiding. Like I said earlier, this government is very much aware of this, the situation of insecurity in the country. They inherited it. Like I said, I see a move of this regime trying to tackle the issue of insecurity. So my advice to the youths is to calm down, be those youths that they are, give this government time to see how they can be able to, arrest this issue of insecurity. Because before now, I can tell you the rate of banditry, the rate of Boko Haram killings, the rate of herders and farmers clashes. It happens on a daily basis, cut across the country. It happens on a daily basis, and a lot of lives wasted. But in this government that I have seen the level of seriousness in the sense that, yeah, they are tackling it, it has not stopped the, killing of people, but to an extent, it has reduced it, meaning they are working.
I would like to use the former governor of Cross River State, Donald Duke, for an example. His regime was from 1999 to 2007. When he was the governor of Cross River State, we won Nita State, the most peaceful state in his region. The state was known to be very peaceful. He was able to tackle the rate of insecurity in his own time. So I would like to ask, is there any way we could invite or ask him questions on how he was able to tackle such things? Because there was a time he wanted to run for presidency, but I think he made an attempt twice or so, and he stepped down. So for a governor who was able to do that from 1999 to 2007, I feel he should be invited, yes, and asked how he was able to do that because Cross River State was amazing in his tenure. He did excellently well in his own tenure. So this goes back to my question: where did we get it wrong as a nation in terms of insecurity?
All right, it is a very nice one. Duke tried in your state in terms of administration, of the people, of the environment, of the security situation. He really tried. But I can tell you, yes, that was in a state. But coming to the center, where you have how many components? 36 components, 36 states, plus the capital territory, making it 37. It is not easy to handle, but that does not mean you should not handle it squarely. If you appoint the right people at the right places, you will get it right. Where we got it wrong, I might not go deep into it, but I can tell you where we got it wrong is where we make arrest of culprits, but no action is taken. When you arrest me today for a crime I commit, and then you just put me in one confined area for some few number of days, and I'm free, I'll go back to that crime tomorrow. Why that is being done is because such people that are committing such crimes have influence from the government itself, meaning the government is benefiting from what they are doing. But if we get rid of these people, if you have them, they answer to the law. You know, you sanction them. Like I was discussing with a friend. I told him, I said, it's high time we introduce back that law that says if you kill, you should be killed as well.
An eye for an eye.
We had that one during the military regime. And then if we're able to do that, I think we will have some little of sanity. And then if people are caught and they are prosecuted, it will go a long way reducing all this criminality. We allow people to walk around with arms illegally. It gives them the bluff anywhere they go. They will always tell you to your face that you take me to where you're taking me to, I'm coming back for you. If we're able to arrest or, get that aspect squarely, tackled, I tell you, our security architecture will be good. Meaning government will deeply be involved. Government should be deeply involved by punishing the culprits.
So in terms of insecurity, who is to be blamed? The government or the youth?
Wow. Everybody has his own, portion of the blame. But the huge blame, I can say, it goes to the government. Because the government has the responsibility to ensure that they have a free and a safe environment for people to strive. If people are not safe, that means government is not working. So if you ask me, the huge blame goes to the government. The youths, you need to think, why should you go doing the wrong thing? There are areas you can get, your strength. You can involve your strength into doing, and you become something in life, rather than going to do illegal activities, which is very unlawful.
Okay. So how was insecurity created in Nigeria?
Well, I can say insecurity in Nigeria, it dates back to when Nigeria was created. There is no nation that is created that doesn't have insecurity situation. It all depends at the level. You can aggregate, the level of insecurity in terms of, back then we have thieves. We have from thieves they graduate to armed robbers, meaning they have arms they are going to steal. This is an insecurity situation. They make people uncomfortable, either at night or in the daytime. But this, our modern Gen Z insecurity, it is brought in because it has degenerated as a result of political chauvinism.
Okay.
That is just it. Political, maneuvers. People that have self-interest in wanting to be in the top. They are the cause of this, our major nuclear insecurity situation in the country.
So we can also say target to mismanagement of funds, because Nigeria as a nation, we are blessed with a lot of resources. One of the former head of state once said, the problem Nigeria has is not money, but it's how to spend the money. That was, I think, Yakubu Gowon. He made that statement. He said, the problem of Nigeria is not money, but how to spend the money. So I think that is where our problem started, because we felt we have too much money, so we did not even make plans of how to secure this money we have and reinvest it. In a country where we produce crude oil, we now sell it to another country to refine it and bring it back to us. I think that's very poor for us as a nation.
Yeah, that is correct. The oil boom brought a whole lot of, issues to us. The oil boom of the 70s. That was the beginning of mismanagement of resources. Like you said, there was a huge mismanagement, corruption, manifested in its best. That is heavily. I wouldn't say there was no corruption before then, but that was when corruption surfaced. And when corruption comes, means everybody wants to have it to himself. Everybody is greedy to have it. And then if you have it, you want that power to be on you. And then if that power is given to you, you want to sustain it. You don't want criticism. You want to get people that can stand for you so that people don't, criticize you.
So you buy the hearts of people.
Yes.
With money.
Correct. You get that money, they go in there and ensure they have the money. And if they get the money, they begin to buy the loyalty of the citizens. And then that loyalty gradually, if you see that the criticism is become, more than what the people you have bought on your side is, you go into getting them arms to deal with people that are criticizing.
One of the former governor of Cross River State, Donald Duke, he said, people see politics as a means of livelihood, not as a means of service. And I strongly agree with him.
Correct.
So I would like to ask this question, sir. What are the communication devices used to communicate from sea to shore, calling for security?
Okay. Like ashore here, you can use telephone, you make your contacts and all of that. But at sea, you still use telephones. Okay. You use AIS.
Okay.
That's automatic information system. That's basically the one you use to communicate from sea to ashore. That's to the land aspect. You use radios, depending on the distance, the nautical mile distance. You can use radio. You can use sat phone and a radium phone. That's free to air. That one, at any time, you can call anywhere in the world. So these are basically the communication, equipments that you use to call for an assistance, should there be any.
Okay.
And then calling for an assistance, it has to be at sea, not coming from ashore.
Okay.
All right?
Yes, sir.
If you notify or if you notice some,
funny movements.
Yeah, of course, vessels are at sea a lot. And that is why the Nigerian Navy, let me just bring this one in, and that is why the Nigerian Navy, go into a memorandum of understanding with private maritime logistic, security companies who assist most of these international ships coming into Nigeria, escort them. Reason being that the militancy that we experienced back then in the 90s, and that has, brought a lot of fears into the international shipping companies that are visiting us. So Nigerian Navy cannot be everywhere. The landmark of the sea we have is well over 315,000, square miles.
Wow.
So Nigerian Navy cannot be everywhere. Nigerian Navy doesn't have the platform to be everywhere. Nigerian Navy cannot use her, equipment for a static patrol. Static patrol means you just be in a position. Nigerian Navy rotates within the waterways.
Okay.
So that if there is any challenge, you call on her, then she's there. And then those vessels that are for the private maritime logistics support companies. There are also, vessels,
Yes.
security vessels. Nigerian Navy will now come in with her armed guards, with her personnel, with arms and ammunitions that they can, use. So if there's any situation around, they will quickly call on any vessel that is close by to where the problem is, and then they will nip the situation at hand.
Okay, so when it comes to the economic growth and development, we know that this insecurity has done more harm than good to us. So my question is, the implications of insecurity on the economic growth and development, what do you have to say about that?
Yes, it has, like you have just said it, it has created a very large negative impact in our economic development, like the insecurity in the energy sector, all right? The insecurity in the hinterland, the Boko Haram, the kidnap, the banditry, the herders and farmers clashes has hindered people to go to farm, to get us sufficient food security, which we don't have. My dear, it's a whole lot. Nigeria is losing. But like I said, this government is tying up. It's tying up its knots. The challenges of insecurities that we have now in the hinterland, like I said, it has reduced remarkably. Back then, if I travel like from here to Jos, on a daily basis, I'm hearing attacks. But today I travel, I ask questions. I think everywhere is relatively calm to mean that they are working.
Okay.
All right. The only problem, or rather, the only advice I would give the government here is that their response timing should, be looked into. When there's a challenge somewhere and then an emergency call is put across, you don't take your time to go there. All right? If they have this manpower insufficiency, it's good they look into it. When they call you, or if they give you a security tip that there's an imminent attack that will be, carried out at a particular place, you need to use your intelligent, gathering to ensure that, yes, you cope that attack. But they wouldn't do that, and then the attack will come. And then when you call for for a rescue, they won't come on time until the havoc is unleashed.
Okay, the implication of insecurity in the economic growth and development, I know a lot of foreign companies have left Nigeria because of insecurity. So many companies have left Nigeria, and it causes a lot of unemployment to the youth. There are some companies in Cross River, other states that have pulled out because of, you see, most of the kidnappers, they target foreigners for the money aspect.
Correct.
So they take them out, and a lot of companies have left the country. So I would like to ask you, sir. Sorry. How can Nigerian Navy improve its effectiveness in securing the marine environment?
You see, number one improvement that we need in that aspect, I'm not there that I can tell you critically what is going on, but from the past, Nigerian Navy doesn't have enough platform. All right? Nigerian Navy needs enough platform that will improve has security duties at sea. Nigerian Navy needs sufficient logistics. It's not easy to have the platforms. Yeah, I know it's not easy, but honestly speaking, for them to improve upon it, we need to increase the platform. We need sufficient logistics, fueling, of these vessels is not easy. We need that aspect of improvement. We need also to improve on the personnel training. Once you have sufficient training, combating crime at sea, all right, will be effective. So how will they get this? It's about enough funding. If the government can give sufficient funding to the Nigerian Navy, I can tell you for free that yes, all our waterways will be well improved in terms of, checkmating all the illegalities.
When we have borders that are freely open, how do we tackle them in terms of this security aspect? Because I know some borders like Econ, we share border with Cameroon.
Mm-hmm.
How secured are these borders? Because in a situation where the borders are freely open,
Mm-hmm.
we can see foreigners coming with lots of contrabands and all of that.
Uh-huh.
So how did the government, how do they come in terms of tackling this insecurity?
We are not, in our borders, I can tell you this one for free, we are not really checking it properly. We are not checking the influx of immigrants into this country. I can tell you most of them will not even come in from the appropriate channel because of the poor borders we have. They can come from any angle. So the government needs to look at that critically, our borders with our neighboring, sister countries. It must be checked. Immigration must have to be on its, toes to ensure that, yes, they carry out their work diligently. We have a lot of, gaps in that area.
Okay. This is not part of my question, but I would like to chip in this. We see most dedicated military personnel who go out to fight for the nation, but in the aspects where they lose their lives, the families are not well compensated. So in a situation like that, maybe the person had a son who is also in the military. When he now noticed that, oh, my dad died for the nation and there was nothing the nation did for my family, why will I want to take the same footstep with my father? So you see most of them, they don't even care. If something is happening, most of the police stations, if you go now and you call that, there's a robbery attack, you hear funny questions like, we don't have fuel in the vehicle, what arms are they carrying? They are not doing this because they don't feel obligated to do it. But I feel it's the way the country compensates or the attitude they give to them when they lose one of them that makes them feel too relaxed to tackle problems in the country. So as a retired person, what advice would you give to the military aspects, like in terms of losing someone? What should they do to compensate these families? Because most times they just do for the period of the first 3 months, because eyes are looking on them like, these people, okay, let's see what the government would do. So after the first 3 months, they are just abandoned those families ahead. So what advice would you give to?
Okay, thank you. In this aspect, I think there is an improvement to the best of my knowledge.
Okay.
Taking care of the families of
the deceased
fallen heroes.
Okay.
I think for the ones I know, if they have kids, the system or the service will normally, take care of their academic pursuit, and they have a place for them. If they are in the barracks, they are not being disturbed. They are allowed to live there until they decide to leave. I'm aware they also give money for the family to, take care of themselves, especially the wife, so that she can go into, business that can sustain them. Yeah, I think there's an improvement in that area. And then, like for the police, area of trying to protect life and properties, if they are called upon, yes, they will tell you they don't have, petrol, or they don't have fuel in their vehicle. It is up to the government to look at our policing, structure. I can tell you this one without any blink of eye, that the government at the moment is not trying as it affects police welfare. You don't expect a policeman to go to the filling station and put fuel. What's that? That's the responsibility of government. And then if you government feel you are giving money for all of this logistics,
should be checked
and
next.
then yes, and then it's not being used, check it, and then punish the culprit. I think they are not really handling the welfare of the police, I must be honest. I don't know. I think there are committees that are set here and there to look into the welfare. Let's see what comes out of that. But at the moment, it is very pathetic, to be honest.
All right, sir. So we're almost coming to the end of this podcast.
Thank you.
Do you think the Nigerian government's approach to combating terrorism is valid?
Combating terrorism, yes. They have they have the strength, they have the willingness to combat the terrorism, but achieving the result is the issue. That willingness is there. Every structure of ensuring that you combat terrorism is put in place, but what is the achievement? The level of achievement is the issue.
So how do we achieve this?
What I want to say here is we need to have a government with sincerity of purpose. Government that tells us exactly how it is. Government that can tell us, because there are people behind the mask sponsoring all of this. Government is aware of these people. Government should bring out this kind of people. If this kind of people are exposed, I tell you, we can win the war. But if you keep hiding them, and you go talk to them in off cameras, they won't stop. The earlier the government fish out the perpetrators of this evil act that is within the government, the better for Nigerians.
All right, sir. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is the last question for this section, and it says, is there any problem in Nigeria that is unresolvable, including the current economic hardship and insecurity?
There's no problem that's unresolvable. It's unresolvable. All problems can be solved. A problem, if you have a problem, that means there's a solution already somewhere. So you need someone who can go, check that solution and solve the problem. If we come together, in all honesty, we resolve our problems. We know our problems. But the ability, the willingness, the political desire to resolve the problem is the issue. If you feel resolving that problem is going to block some of your, some of your benefits. Your benefits, then you begin to play politics with it. But if we come out in our totality and say we want to resolve this, I tell you, Nigeria will be the best place for anybody.
All right. So viewers, thank you very much. Thank you, sir,
Thank you very much
for honoring our invitation.
Thank you so very much.
So to my viewers, my subscribers, follow us on all our social media handles. So do you have any shout-outs?
I will say, first and foremost, thank you to Pixel, for having me on this podcast. I hope and I wish I will come here again on a different, note, not on insecurity situation.
Right, sir.
We can discuss business.
Okay.
We can discuss how to finance business. Yes. So it's my pleasure to be here today, and I hope to be here again.
Any advice to the youths?
My advice to the youth is that let's calm down and have a focus. If you think you don't have any focus, you have a lot of, well-wishers there that are willing to put you on track. So let's shy away from violence, come together. There are a whole lot of businesses, especially in the IT industry, that we can, dabble into it. Why can't we put our head down and see how we can get to explore that industry? It will help us a lot, and it will make us very honorable. Instead of fighting, here and there, the big beginners will come chasing, the youths. You come and fight, and then you are willing to do that for a peanut. Whereas you have a lot of jobs there that you can do that will pay you better than this. You youths of Nigeria are better than all of this nonsense.
All right, youths, you've heard from our lieutenants. Please, guys, there's agriculture, going to farming. There's money in agriculture right now. Go farm, poultry, just do something. Let's all empower ourselves and stay safe. We love you guys. See you on our next episode. Bye, guys.
Thank you.